Hi Michael, this is my entry for your contest for my favorite movie. Now, when you first made the announcement that you were making this contest, literally 30 different movie titles just flew into my head. And I've been thinking about it, all this month since you've announced it of what movie I wanted to do. Because, there's so many great ones and there's so many for me to choose from. But I ended up going with one that hopefully you've never seen before. So that way, after you watch this video, you might have some incentive to go and watch it and you might even enjoy it, and if you hate it, then you have something to roast with your friends. So either way, it's a win-win. So my movie of choice is Princess Mononoke, directed by Hayao Miyazaki. Now, I'm not sure if you're familiar with any other of his movies, but he directed Spirited Away, and he's a Japanese film director, and I love all of his films. I think they're all great. And I chose this film because it takes a very common theme that we see time and time again, but it's very different. He took a different spin on it. It's the classic theme of humanity versus nature, but it works. It's not something that you've seen a million times before, because you have movies like Avatar where it didn't work and it was just something that we've seen so many times. But I think that's what makes this movie different, is that it actually works, because it is different. It's not just saying humanity is bad and nature is good. It shows both halves of it, and it's all about just you as a human trying to find your place in the world, in nature. And I really love that, because it's some pretty heavy themes, and it asks some pretty heavy questions, all while still being a really entertaining and enjoyable movie. But I think I'd have to say my favorite thing about this movie would have to be the characters in the movie, because every single one in the movie, I just find them all so interesting, and you can connect on every single to every single one of them on so many levels. But I don't think it's kind of like The Dark Knight, where there's too many characters that you have to follow the plots, where it just gets kind of jumbled. I think that it all flows pretty nicely, because all the characters, all their own plots and all their own arches, they all intertwine with one another, and they all create this big movie where they're all relevant. And because you have obviously the really funny ones, and you have your protagonist, and it's just all the elements are there of a really interesting character. And I love that, because I think Hayao really just sat down and developed all these characters and took a lot of time on it, and I think that shows in the movie that he did spend time on developing these really cool characters. So that's what I think is my favorite thing about this movie, because it has a lot of really great elements. It has, great characterization that's really interesting, and it has great theming that's different. It's not something you've seen 100 times before. So yeah, I would have to say that my favorite movie is Princess Mononoke, directed by Hayao Miyazaki.